All right, it's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. I spent last weekend with my mom celebrating her birthday, which is in April, and Mother's Day in advance. So I spent some time with her, gave her some gifts. Don't think I gave her perfume, but I gave her a candle. I gave her candle and a few other things. So I did spend time with my mom. But I was thinking I haven't done a video, centered around Mother's Day. So I thought let's put together a video for you guys. And these are modern fragrances for modern mothers. So no classics here. All of these are within the last 10 years. Most of them are within the last 5 years. And there's a lot within the last 3 years here. And unisex offering mostly, but some of these do lean feminine. And I think they're perfect for modern mothers. Let me know if you are gifting your mom a fragrance. Let me know if you're a mom. Are you buying yourself a fragrance? This will be a great video for you to discover some really awesome fragrances from niche houses. I don't have any designers here. All of them are niche. I would say these are definitely on the niche side and very luxurious kind of products. But before I get to the fragrances today in today's video, I want to highlight that if you haven't yet heard, and I've been mentioning this in all of my videos, we are doing ScentFest SF here in San Francisco on June 26, 27, and 28. And we're probably going to have over 100 brands at our show. A lot of registered brands exhibiting on their own. And we have distributors, agents, and retailers bringing fragrances from brands as well. So this will be a great fragrance fair, festival for you to discover fragrances, niche fragrances, luxury niche, your straightforward niche brands, and then also artisanal indie brands as well. So if you're into perfume, you've been, taking advantage of our Scent Club kits. Now the progression of Scent Club kits is ScentFest, and it's happening here one weekend in June, at the end of June, June 26, 27, and 28. In addition to fragrances from brands, we have all kinds of great immersive and experiential setups that are going to be there. So you can make fragrances, you can smell classic fragrance formulas, and all kinds of great things like that. So perhaps you can gift your mom tickets to the show, and we're still in early bird pricing for attending. So if you haven't registered yet, please do. There are also still a few remaining VIP passes available, which gets you in with trade and media as well. So I hope to see you guys. I will mention if any of the brands that we're going to talk about today will be exhibiting at the show. So stay tuned. They could either be exhibiting or participating in some way. Some brands that I actually made a video recently mentioning which of the brands. I will make another one soon, and I will let everybody know more brands and, companies that have listed on. And the website is also getting updated with exhibitors and sponsors and partners and information like that. So it's going to be a great show. First show of its kind on the West Coast. And, I took advantage of the situation because there's already a fragrance perfume related show happening in Monterey called the World Perfumery Congress. And so there's going to be people in the industry here. Although that's more industry, not consumer. This is more of a consumer, less industry. So there's going to be crossover. There's also the Business of Beauty Global Forum happening in Napa. And I think there's going to be beauty and fragrance related presence there. So I had to do this. If I didn't do this myself, I know somebody would have come and done it on the West Coast. And, California is the fourth largest economy, so we need it here. And there's a huge West Coast, California fragrance community. So we're bringing these brands here. And at the show, you can buy fragrances. You can be able to buy fragrances because it's mostly a consumer show. So it's going to be a selling show. So if you discover something that you really love, you can be able to purchase it at the show as well. So I hope you guys are coming. Maybe gift your mother, a fragrance lover, anybody you know, tickets to the show. And again, it's going to be an amazing time. There's already parties and events being organized by a few of the retailers that are selling fragrances here that you've probably heard about on this channel. ZGO Perfumery is doing events. Ministry of Scent is doing events. There's a few brands. I know one brand for sure is planning an event. So it's going to be a big time, fun time. So I hope to see you guys here. Let's get moving on with the fragrances now. All right, one more thing I should say before we move on. There's a reason why I'm wearing my hat. I explained this in another video recently. You know, I travel quite a bit and I have all these different barbers do my hair. So at this stage in time, my hair is so disorganized. And this is what I used to do before. I didn't really take care of my hair before. I didn't have a barber do my hair. I used to do a buzz cut because I hated my hair and I hated managing it. And I've gotten to a point also now, it takes a long time to do my hair. The pomade, you know, styling it and everything. So because my hair is a bit disorganized, I think so many different barbers are cutting it. And I think going from one to the other, my hair is just in a complete mess. I'm going to a barber next week. If my hair doesn't fix, I think I'm going back to doing the buzz cuts again for a while because I did it for probably 20 some years, maybe 30 years of buzz cutting my hair. And it was styling pretty good, but something's happened. It's just in a mess form. So that's why I'm wearing the hat. Anyway, let's move on now. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you guys, a great fragrance, modern fragrance for mom, is Nishane's Meant to Be Seen. This is the latest fragrance from the house. And it's an addicting fragrance. It's got iris or orris. In addition to that, we've got violet here. There's a lot of musks, sesame, and sandalwood. So it's creamy, it's powdery, musky, and a little bit like, I would say a little bit like makeup-y, but not full on. But I think it's a very addicting smell. Super modern, very, very cozy. There's a dusty, powdery quality about it. And it's also creamy in the dry down. And what I really love is that it's quite musky. Musky, powdery, orris. These kind of fragrances are super sexy to me. And there's a little bit of sweetness here as well. And I think it's a really awesome scent from Nishane. There's another fragrance they have called Nishane. I think that's what it's called. I think it's a Cecile Zarokian fragrance. That's also quite powdery, but that has rose. And it also has a lot of earthy patchouli. So that actually feels very vintage to me. This is super modern. It's a really, really awesome scent, especially if you like iris, orris, and you like musks. It's got this kind of enveloping quality. Really awesome. So I've tagged all of the products or the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today. So if you're, interested in buying any of these, you can. It's timestamp tagged. And if you haven't tried this one, definitely check it out. I do recommend that one quite a bit. And it's fragrances that fall into that category of fragrances like Fleur de Peau, maybe Over the Musk by Mugler and things like that. Let's move on to another fragrance from the house of Alexandre J. It's Imperial Peacock, a fragrance that we actually featured in the Scent Club kit. And as I was mentioning, these are timestamp tagged. So there's a great deal on this one, which I've recommended quite a bit. So it is selling at Neiman's for $400, this Imperial Peacock, but I do have it discounted for like $199. So that's almost, it's 50% off. And this is a super addicting fragrance. It's vanillic, it's nutty, it's powdery, it's spicy, but there's the rhubarb note in here, which adds a slight crispness and a bit of a pulpy, watery effect against mostly powdery fragrance. In addition to those notes, there's also musk, but it's very addicting. And for me also, for some strange reason, it reminds me of a barbershop scent. Not like it's full-on barbershop, like there's some DNA in here that gives me that kind of an effect, but more like an amber fougere style, an ambery barbershop style. But I love that about this fragrance. And it's a gorgeous bottle as well, I think. This bottle is super gorgeous. Really Art Deco. I love, well, it's the Art Nouveau collection itself, it says. But to me, this goes very Art Deco. A beautiful fragrance. We had that in a kit like 2 years ago almost. We sold out. And it's an awesome scent from the house. So it's a great fragrance for mom or a guy too. These are mostly all unisex offerings, by the way. Let's move on to Sospiro's Dolce Melodia. Dolce Melodia has been on my top list for a long time, and you can get this at a really great discount currently. It's 150 bucks. Normally it sells for 330, so it's more than 50% off. It's super long lasting. It's fruity, it's juicy citrusy, it's white floral, and you've got powdery touches. It's a bit of sweetness and vanilla touches in the base, and then you've got musky notes as well. So it's quite powdery to me, but you really experience that juiciness of there's a pear note and the citruses together, creates this very juicy effect. So there's that kind of a presence in here for sure. But really long-lasting, compliment getter, also a fragrance that we featured in the Scent Club kit. And it's an addicting smell. Very, very addicting. And what I like about the Sospiro fragrances, their eau de parfum, I think they might be stretching the truth on the concentration. I think they're delivering more than an eau de parfum because they're really long-lasting, really long-lasting. Their marked eau de parfum, I think they're giving us something closer to an extract because they're like intense. They're a bit like on the ferocious side with its performance. And I like that about those fragrances. So that is really, really highly discounted currently. Take advantage of it before the discount runs out, and it makes for a great gift. It's a perfect fragrance. It is a unisex offering, but I think it's perfect for a modern mother for sure. All right. This is a new one I haven't spoken much about at all on the channel. It's the first time I brought it back from France. This is a love at first sniff fragrance. Going to the house of Caron. This is Atma. So I was visiting France last month and I went to the Printemps boutique, and over there upstairs on the first floor, they have a Caron set up. They have like different brands set up their little booths, kind of like the Harrods salon upstairs. So, you know, you can go like, it's like a store within a store. So Caron has its own setup. And I asked the lady, I said, what's new? And she said, this just launched last autumn. I smelled it and I'm like, I love it. I want to buy it. It is vanilla. It's super spicy and also very musky. And also white flowers. So that's what's really great about this. It's also created by Louise Turner. She's Givaudan. The previous perfumer that worked at Caron, Jean-Jacques, he left. I don't know if he left because he left or if he was forced out. I don't know what happened. But from what I heard, he's working at Chanel. But now Louise Turner is the in-house perfumer from Givaudan. And I can see her touches. I could see some of the proprietary smelling ingredients from Givaudan. But what I really love about this one, it's the vanilla. It's not super gourmand. It's the white flowers. It's the musks and the kind of peppery spices together. Very, very addicting. Atma is so good. And I do have to be honest about this one. Just like Tabac Exquis, which I absolutely love. But I always find it that it's not super big. Like Caron fragrances, Tabac Exquis and Atma are both eau de parfum. Sospiro is also eau de parfum, but they're so different. Like the Caron fragrances seem subtler in comparison to the Sospiro fragrances, which both of them are eau de parfum concentrations, but the Sospiro screams and the Caron just like purrs, you know. It's just it's lighter. It's that's the negative about it, but it's the same thing with Tabac Exquis. I absolutely love it. It's a very distinct, unique smell of tobacco with warm spices and the chocolate, but I just wish it was a bit louder. Same thing with Atma. It's made in a way that there's a subtlety about it, and like I said, it doesn't scream. It's just a little light purr for me, but when you smell it, it's quite good. If you haven't tried it, do try it. Atma is so good from Caron, and I think a mom would totally dig that one. Now let's go to the house of the Harmonist. This is Florai Nebula. You guys tried this one? This is also, I think this is a Givaudan perfumer. At one time, the brand was using Guillaume Flavigny for creating their fragrances. Is this Guillaume also? Because I know he works for Givaudan. But this is citruses, fruity notes. It's got a very creamy consistency. There's rose in there. There's vanilla. There's peppery spices. Then there's other floral notes. There's a lot of amber and then also musk in the base. But for me, it's such an authentic, original smell. I absolutely love it. It's creamy. It's fruity. It's spicy. It's vanillic. And it's got the rose. The rose and the apricots together. Does it remind a little bit of Guidance? No. But I almost feel like the rose in this might be similar to the rose in Guidance and also BDK's Imperia, which is coming right after. But this is super delicious. Really, really. Like the texture, the consistency is super creamy. I can almost feel like I'm emptying a bottle of shampoo and the texture is all creamy. And I'm going to put it in my hair and shampoo it. But in this case, it's this very luxurious, creamy, very, very gorgeously fragrant perfume. So Flora Nebula is so good. One of the best, I think, from this house. I highly recommend it. This is an awesome, awesome scent from the House of the Harmonist. They did a great job on that one. So all of these products are timestamp tagged, as I said. If you're in the market for any of these fragrances, take advantage of any deals that they might be that I've tagged. The next fragrance is BDK's Imperia. I did want to feature this one here. This is a rose dominant fragrance, and this is also reminiscent of Guidance, but I don't think they set out to do Guidance. I think the ingredients they used are the same ingredients in Guidance. Does that make sense? Because this is Jordi Fernandez, who works at Givaudan, and Quentin Biche, who did Guidance, also, works at Givaudan. So they have access to the same ingredients. And I think that's what's going on here. But it is reminiscent of Guidance to me, more than Delina. But some people get Delina from this. It's very, very rosy. There's a lot of rose. There's also orange blossom. There's sandalwood. This one also acts creamy, fruity, vanillic. But for me, they're totally different between Flora Nebula and Imperia. But it's gorgeous. I needed to have a rose in here for sure. I don't think I have a lot of rose. No, I don't think I picked too many rose fragrances. But it's definitely very solid. This is coming off a bit more peppery than Flora Nebula. But I think it has about the same amount of peppery notes that Atma has. But Atma is white flowers. It's not rose. And it's also a lot of vanilla. I get vanilla in this, but it's not super prominent for what Imperia smells like. But it's a gorgeous scent. So that is Imperia from the House of BDK. Now, it's weird that I put a ton of Givaudan created fragrances. This is also a Givaudan created fragrance, and it's actually same perfumer as Atma. This is Lust in Paradise. So Lust in Paradise is about peony. Peony, lychee, musk. So the lychee is kind of crisp and not so fruity. There's a greenness about it. The peony is slightly rosy, but also a bit of a young white flower as well. There's definitely some greenness in this. There's woods, peppery notes, amber. It is super addicting of a smell, I think, and it's perfect for a Mother's Day scent. Perfect. The combo of peony and lychee fruit together, maybe there is a light reminder of something like Delina, but this is a bit greener, and it's also quite crisp compared to Delina, where I do get that kind of creamy consistency. But it's super fresh and a really great smell. It's a great smell, and then it's sexy. It's got a sexy smell to it. And I love the name, Lust in Paradise. I need to check the extract that just came out for this. I'm sure it's going to be super intense. I got to get my nose on it very soon. But if you know about it, let me know. Add a comment below. All right, we're talking about Lumari's latest fragrance here, Radon 4. Now, Radon 4, I did a full review on this. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. Now, the more I wear this fragrance, the more well, when I was doing the video, I thought to myself, well, I mentioned in the video, I said, this is reminding me of Reflection Man a little bit. So it does remind me of Reflection Man a little bit. It's quite vanillic, but and also incensey smoky. But what's unique about this one, it's got the orange blossom, and I think that's what's giving me the reminder of Reflection Man, maybe a little bit of the Reflection 45, but also way behind it, it does remind me a little bit of Fleur de Mal, because it has a little bit of that kind of DNA. That there's also a little bit of a fougere vibe. So I think it's giving me those kind of vibes. Fleur de Mal was a totally changed up flanker. I think it was a flanker of Le Mal. And so it's giving me all kinds of vibes like this. But this is super spicy. It's vanillic. It's powdery. It's ambery. And then you've got that white floral contrast of the orange blossom. And this is where it reminds me of something like Fleur de Mal or Reflection Man. It's a great scent created by Julian Rasconet. It might be a bit on the masculine side, but the fact that it has that orange blossom, it's taking it into more of a unisex territory. It's a great scent. It's becoming one of my favorites from the house. It's probably my number 2 next to Porthole from that house. Have you guys tried Radon 4 yet? Now let's go to something a little bit older. This is Lilac Love from the house of Amouage. This is a very addicting scent to me. It's a floral gourmand, and it's utilizing the lilac with heliotrope, and there's vanilla, there's probably like iris orris notes in this, and it's super gourmand with a dusting of cacao or chocolate on it. So lilac is a favorite floral note. It's very spring smelling to me, leaning a little bit green. You don't get that here. This goes into more of a warm territory, more of a, powdery, vanillic, and chocolatey. But just imagine all of those sprinkled on top of the beautiful lilac. You have the lilac here. It's definitely here. But in addition to the lilac, like I said, there's also heliotrope, which creates a powdery effect. There's gardenia. It's got that creamy factor about it. Gardenias are super sexy. They smell super intoxicating. So all of that stuff is happening here. It's a great scent. Really, really wonderful. Lilac Love, one of the best from this, I think it's called the Secret Garden collection from Amouage. I think the bottle has also changed. The color has changed. I don't know if the scent has changed, but this is one of the best from this house, I think. So let's move on to Boadicea the Victorious. It's Bodacious. So Bodacious also is super intoxicating. It is a cherry, boozy, tobacco kind of a concoction, and very, very addicting. There might be there's a little bit of slight leathery undertone, but for me, it's a lot of cherries. It's almost like maraschino cherries that are preserved in liquor or booze, because there's a booziness here. There's nuttiness. It's almondy, tonka. Of course, you also have heliotrope here, so it's super powdery. There is a like boozy notes, like cognac. So I feel like this with the cherries gives you that kind of almost like a cherry kind of a cocktail. Like you've got a cognac cocktail with a cherry inside the drink for the presentation and stuff. But there's amber, there's vanilla, there's sandalwood, and a lot of warm spices. It's super, super delicious. One of the best from the house. It's also not one of the most expensive. And, it's cherries. You're thinking, does it smell like lost cherry? It doesn't smell like lost cherry to me. It's more of a grown-up cherry fragrance to me, especially for the fact that it's got, a lot of spices like cloves, and there's also the cognac and things like that. It's really delicious. So that's Bodacious from the house of Boadicea the Victorious. I think it's a great, great mother's, modern mom's kind of a fragrance. Let's move on to the house of Ormond Jane. We've got Sybarite. Sybarite? Is that how you say it? So this is a vanillic hazelnutty focus fragrance that is somewhat reminiscent of Guidance, somewhat. And I think it's basically the hazelnuts that are featured in Guidance that are featured here. But once you get past that, it doesn't have the rose. It doesn't have the fruitiness. It's basically lots of vanilla with hazelnuts. So it's quite nutty. It's it's a lot ambery. It's a bit musky. And then there's some white flowers thrown in and woods as well. Very, very addicting smell. Super, super intoxicating. It's really, really delicious. So I'm a fan of the brand's Vanille des Afriques Intensivo. That's still my favorite. This might be my second favorite from the house. Although there's a few others that I really, really love. But this is the fact that it's vanilla. It's very powdery and also hazelnut nutty. It makes it very, very addicting. So it's a great scent, Sybarite from the House of Ormond Jane. Let me know if you've tried it. I think that might be an exclusive fragrance to the Ormond Jane boutique. So you might have to actually call them to order that online. But the next fragrance, it's Initio's Lift Me Up. I'm surprised how good this is. Really, really great. It's another floral vanilla combo, but super modern with a little bit of a classic twist in there as well. What I like about this one, there's tonka, there's musk, there's vanilla, there's magnolia, and a little bit of ylang. So I think it's the ylang that's giving me the slight classic twist. Magnolia, on the other hand, is super creamy, so it's a very creamy. It almost acts like there's coconut. It's a bit coconutty, I think, because it's got that kind of a creamy factor, a creamy vibe about it. And there are some musky notes in here as well. It's quite musky. I think this is also a Givaudan creation. I don't know why Initio doesn't publish the names of their perfumers, do they? Have you ever seen? Well, maybe they do. I think they have published some of the names. Not all. I don't know who did this one. If anybody knows who did Lift Me Up, let us know. But I think it's definitely one of their best. The two new ones that just launched, I liked one more than the other, but I can't remember. I quickly smelled them. I think Lift Me Up is still superior over those, but I haven't worn them. So Lift Me Up is great. I think it's great Mother's Day, modern mom kind of a fragrance. All right, I'm talking about Kayali next, the Wedding Silk Santal 36. Oh man, both of the Santal fragrances from the house are amazing. If you haven't tried them, please do. They're really, really great. And their musk is also super, super awesome. What I like about this one, this is also very sandalwoody, of course, because it's the Silk Santal. And then it's also musky. But there is something in here that is super intoxicating. I think freesia comes to mind because there is a freesia note. There's vanilla here as well. I think it's the freesia and orange blossom combo against this kind of silky, smooth, creamy sandalwood in here is very, very intoxicating. In fact, I am wearing this fragrance today because I pulled it out to do this video and then I had to go have dinner. And then I was like, you know what? I need to put some perfume on. This is the one I went with. It's very, very addicting. This is a super awesome, one of my favorites from the House of Kayali. So on the back, I forgot to mention there is a champagne note, but I personally don't get too much of fizziness because normally I can tell because it sparkles and hits my nose. I don't get that here, but it does say champagne, white freesia, pink praline, lush nectarine, sandalwood, sugared musk. Really, really great scent. If you haven't tried it, please do. Both of the sandalwoods are great, and the musk for me from this house, top notch. All right, next going to the House of Jeroboam. This is Kunamo. Yes, this is also really great. It's a super juicy, fruity pear note, just meshed with a lot of different kinds of musks. If you're a musk lover and you also like it fruity, this is definitely one you should try. So when I'm smelling this, when I'm wearing it, also I feel like it's a bit saffron-y. And I don't know where that's coming from. I feel like there's something saffron-like in here, giving me a light leathery undertone. But once you get past that, it's all the musks, the juiciness, and the fruitiness of the pear together. Really addicting combo. Really, really super addicting combo. It's become one of my favorites from the house. I really love it. I really love to spray it. I love the musks and that contrast of the fruitiness. The juicy. It's a juicy kind of, pulpy kind of fruitiness of the pear. Kunamo, have you tried it? Let me know. Add a comment below. It's a super, super awesome scent. By the way, guys, I mentioned in a video yesterday, during ScentFest SF, I will be launching, I'm not launching it, I collaborated on another fragrance, just like I did with Juiceboxes 54. So it was a fragrance project that started before Juicebox 54, and it's been kind of developing and having challenges along the way. So finally, during ScentFest SF, you'll be able to get a preview and a very small batch of bottles for sale for the next fragrance. I'm going to do a video explaining it more very soon, so stay tuned to find out all the details about the fragrance. And I think it was perfect timing. We didn't intentionally wait to launch it at ScentFest SF, but the inspiration is San Francisco and another city. So it's a collaboration I'm doing with a brand, and it's a new fragrance that's launching that I've collaborated on with a brand. It was my idea. Once again, I went to the brand this time. Well, I went to the brand before Juicebox came to me, and there's a connection with the brand that I have. So that's the fragrance. And so that was my idea, and I went to them, and it's been progressing, but it just didn't come together as fast. And we started working on that one, and then we started working on Juiceboxes 54 several months later, and Juiceboxes 54 wrapped up, and this one still goes on and on and on and on. So yeah, the new fragrance will launch. I'll tell you guys more details. I'll tell you notes and everything when I do the individual standalone video on that, but just giving you a heads up. There's only going to be a few bottles for sale at the show, and it's my next fragrance collaboration. The fragrance itself doesn't get an official launch until autumn, but in June, you'll be able to get a bottle while supplies last. All right, let's move on to the next fragrance. This is Tilia from the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois. This has grown on me. It has grown on me quite a bit. It's another Quantum Biche creation, and this is the first of a few feminine fragrances from the house. Tilia is about linden blossom, and I've gotten very addicted to the smell of linden blossom, and they kind of bloom in May and June, and a very intoxicating smell in the air when you're actually in an area where there's a ton of linden blossom trees, or whatever the trees are, because the fragrance just dominates and takes over. And I've gotten used to this and enjoy this one quite a bit. It's linden blossom. There's orange blossom in here. There's other floral notes. There's musks and heliotrope. So it wasn't a love at first sniff, but it has really grown on me. And I think the fact that I'm loving linden blossom in fragrances is what's contributing to my appreciation of this fragrance, because it's totally different than any other Marc-Antoine Barrois fragrances, but it's super grown on me. And I like the contrast of the linden blossom with the orange blossom. You can really, really pick it out. And I'm a big fan of orange blossom to begin with. So this fragrance does work. It's Tilia. I think it's great for a modern mom from the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois. Let's move on to the house of Goldfield and Banks next. It's Sunset Hour. I was going to put their new fragrance, but I decided to go with Sunset Hour. I wanted something effervescent and sparkling, and this one does the trick. And it's also quite popular. It also has a little bit of that kind of, I guess, a little bit of sparkling ambroxany backbone, but it's all fruity, breezy, effervescent, sparkling, kind of like a champagne cocktail. Imagine some very expensive champagne, and you've got slight fruity touches in there. You're in some kind of a fancy hotel. It's super breezy because there's a breezy quality about this one. I was thinking of a peach Bellini because this does have that Kwandong note. I think it's the desert peach. But Bellini turns into a bit more creamy consistency, texture. It's a bit more like a mimosa. This I'm envisioning a fruity essence added to mostly like champagne. Like the sparkles are quite there. But it's quite addicting. It's very, very sexy, super spicy. Sunset Hour, great name for it. Because it just totally paints a picture of that hotel, bar, very sexy hotel, next to a resort. Like it's in a resort. It's got this massive pool, and the pool is next to like some kind of a sea or ocean. So drapes are breezing. You can see it kind of, that's the picture I get with that one. Anyway, that's Goldfield and Banks Sunset Hour. Up next, Xerjoff's Quattro Pizzi from the Casa Moratti collection. So this is a tuberose focused fragrance. This also goes a little bit creamy. Well, actually it goes quite creamy, I should say. It's got tobacco, but I wouldn't say this is anything like in the Join the Club collection. There was 400, and then there's also Naxos. This is so different from both of those because both of those do feature tobacco in some form. This has tobacco leaves. There's Davana, there's rum, but the tuberose is pretty prominent. But you know what? It's the kind of tuberose that I really like. For some reason, I'm hating a vintage smelling tuberose for some strange reason. And I absolutely love vintage fragrances. But here it's a very, very modern tuberose. It also has a little bit of a greenness, but it's boozy. It's a bit kind of earthy with those tobacco leaves. The hay kind of adds a layer of depth, contrast. I think that's probably where we're getting that greenness. Oh man, it's good. It's quite good. That is Quattro Pizzi from the Casa Moratti collection of Xerjoff. There's probably some great deals on some of these fragrances. Like I said, I've tagged them. Let's move on to the house of Clive Christian with Crab Apple Blossom. So this one, they claim it's super marine. It's not super marine leaning to me. It's fruity and fresh with a light sea breeze thrown in. So there's mojito, there's rhubarb, driftwood, the apple blossom. There's a little bit of sandalwood. But yeah, you do pick up marine notes. Maybe more like a sea breeze. But it's light. And it's just like a breeze, basically. You're not swimming with the fishes. You're not in the deep sea. But I quite like it. It's a marine fragrance that I can tolerate because it's not super overdosed with marine. So it does have the crab apple blossom, and it has that mojito note. So this is also kind of like a vacation in a bottle. It feels like it. And once again, you're beside the sea, or you're some kind of a resort. You're really smelling the sea this time. Whereas in Sunset Hour, you didn't really smell it because you're inside. Maybe you're outside this time, and again, you're a bit far away, but there is a sea air. There's a little bit of a sea smell in the air is what I should say. But it's a great scent. I think it's perfect for a modern mom. What do you guys think? Then, one of my favorite fragrances from the house of Reine de Saba, it's Reine Maqueta. I don't know what's going on with the brand. I was hoping that they would make it to the States, but they haven't. But this is definitely one of my favorites, created by Anne Flippo. It's super musky. I think I have a bit of a trend in this video. A lot of musky fragrances. There's a lot of musk here. There's ambrette, there's orris, there's a little vanilla, a slight bit of rose and jasmine, and some citruses. But cashmeran musk is super prominent here. You can really smell the cashmeran. But this one on the skin with a little bit of warmth outside, it's so sexy, very, very intoxicating. It goes full on powdery, but great sillage, great like presence, and very, very sexy. It's perfectly made. One of the best from Anne Flippo. I mean, this is... I love this house, but I really love this fragrance. There's 4 or 5 because they have a huge collection. But this definitely is my favorite. I absolutely love it. If you can get your hands on it, please do, because it is amazing. Now let's move on to the House of Atelier d'Azur. It's Blue Madeleine. This is kind of somewhat of a gourmand with the overdose of black tea. It's a bit balsamic and a little bit gourmand because there's these cookie-like effects in here. It's a bit milky. I've been drinking tea quite a bit lately because I've been working from home because of ScentFest. And I've been having a lot of tea and have not been putting milk in my tea. But this gives me that kind of a very cozy, effect because the tea is quite prominent. It's not green tea. It's not a fresh tea fragrance. It's more, lactonic and gourmand leaning. But it's really, really delicious. There's some light smoky touches in there as well. Because, black tea can get smoky. But it becomes quite ambery in the dry down. But really, really yummy. If you have a mom or you're a mom and you're a gourmand lover, I think this is a fragrance that you would appreciate. Plus, you've got gold flakes floating around in the bottle. Very hypnotizing, like a lava lamp effect. Then we've got 2 more fragrances left. So this next one is one of the fragrances that's featured in our latest Scent Club kit. This is Dusita's Light of Bangkok, made for the Mandarin Oriental. It's a really great lemongrass fragrance. Not super beast mode. There's an airiness about it. It's a bit ethereal. It's powdery. It's got tea vibes, but it's lemongrass. And it's so good. It on my skin also, it sweetens up when it's drying down. It's very musky, very powdery, and also floral. But the lemongrass is prominent. And that's where you will think that there might be tea here because it acts like tea. But it is lemongrass and with that very distinct smell. And it's a great, great scent from the house. Great scent. Not super easy to get Light of Bangkok. It's in our latest Scent Club kit, as I said. That's number 18. We also have number 18, by the way. It's number 19 it's in. And it's a trio of fragrances. So if you haven't tried it and you've been wanting to get a bottle of Light of Bangkok, you can get it in our latest kit. Because the only place you can get this fragrance is at the Hotel Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok or on the Dusita website. No other retailer is selling it. So it's a great, great fragrance, perfect for a modern mother. And the last fragrance I'm going to end this video with is Trudon's 45 Degrees. This was my favorite offering from last year, and it's basically a vanilla honey bomb. Oh my God, it's good. It's really, really great. Another Givaudan creation. Super addicting, very creamy. It's almost like you can stretch the texture of this fragrance. It's kind of sticky, but soft. It's like cheese. Like that's how I wear the fragrance. But it's super sweet. There's honey and there's vanilla here. And the combo is super intoxicating. But one of the best fragrances of last year, like I said. I love this. And a lot of retailers are selling out of this one over and over because it's become so popular. And I'm ending the video with this fragrance because it is really super delicious. I absolutely love it. And the thing is, it's vanilla, but it smells like honey. It's honey, but it smells like vanilla. The combination is awesome. It's ambery, it's sweet. It's velvety, smooth, and creamy. It's got a bit of musk in there. It's so good. Really, really awesome. So that is 45 Degrees from Trudon. And that's the last fragrance for you guys. 22 fragrances for a modern mom. If you're a mom, check these fragrances out. Again, as I said, all of these are timestamp tagged. So if you're in the market for them, you can buy them. Most of these are. I don't think I can tag Atma. I don't think Caron is distributed in the States much. Some of these I might not be, like Radon 4, I don't think is available online yet. But if it is, I'll tag it. But most of them should be. And I'll tag the least expensive prices on these. This is through YouTube shopping. Also, Rain Makeda will not be able to be tagged. I don't think anybody's really selling. But I think this is a great collection of fragrances, very modern fragrances for mothers of today. Happy Mother's Day if you're a mom or for your mom. I'm already called my mom. Well, I already said Happy Mother's Day when I was with her, but Mother's Day is not here yet. I'm shooting this video in advance, so I'll call her and wish her Happy Mother's Day. But thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. I did say that I'm debuting a new fragrance with a brand at ScentFest SF, so if you want to check it out, there's only going to be a limited quantity for sale at the show before it launches, you know, at the end of the year. So get your tickets to ScentFest SF. Maybe you gift your tickets to your mom and come and enjoy an awesome 3 days in San Francisco celebrating all things fragrance. Oh, I did not say which brands might be coming, but I've already done some videos and I'll announce more brands very, very soon. See you guys later. Bye-bye.